Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our program this afternoon, and to our channel. And this is Dan. If I feel like a lot of you probably have never seen me before, and we have been over on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and that type of platform. And so now we have developed finally, we've been working on it for a while. We have developed a YouTube channel all about living that purpose-driven life. And that's something that excites me very much. And I'm going to try to stay seated today as I am using the camera off of my laptop instead of my cell phone. Now, as I mentioned, I just really enjoy this subject and living the purpose-driven life. And I'm just so excited that you stopped by. And it is our desire, if we can help you and we can excite you as well as myself and our followers. And again, for those that are following us from TikTok and from Instagram, we welcome you, a special welcome to you. And for those few followers that are outside of the United States, we welcome you as well, a very warm welcome to you. And so I'm a little bit not liking my laptop camera, as I can't control it as much as I can off of my phone and my external camera, but it's sort of distracting to me. But I'm hoping that it won't be so distracting for you guys as you're following along. Now, today's format, we have made some PowerPoint slides, as I think that this helps develop the idea as we go from slide to slide. So there'll be other times that you'll see me behind a desk, just me without the PowerPoint. And so anyway, I just wanted to kind of introduce our channel to you. And if you're ever on TikTok, you can catch those shorts as well. Of course, this would be the longer format. And if you like our channel and you want to keep up with newer videos, make sure to like and subscribe. And it just helps us to stay relevant and stay out there for you, the viewer. And just before we get started, I wanted to let you know we do have a lot of interactive tools coming online very soon. We're very excited about that as we are developing our members only plan as well. Some pretty exciting things for you guys, the viewer, and I just enjoy bringing these to you as well. So let's get going on today's program. So I entitled this one, "What if I am the answer?" What if you're the answer, right? And so we want to delve into this very important subject as we begin our first video series and living that purposeful life, or that purpose-driven life. And that's what we all want, right? And so I've included here our email address if you would like to communicate beyond the comment section. I know you can't put a lot in there, but if you're ever requesting help, or you just want to reach out to someone, or you need help in any way, feel free to use our organization Gmail account, and we read each and every email and we'll respond to you, okay? And so with that in mind, so as we look across the landscape, and what I mean by this, as we look not only physically at each other, but we feel the energy of those that we come in contact with. What are we actually seeing in the landscape. Now, I know most of us are living and working in the United States, and there are a few, if they joined us, that are outside the United States. So this isn't just geared toward, America. However, as we look at each other, both physically and energetically, what are we seeing out there? We see a lot of fear, right? Anxiety, worry, definitely polarization, right? And this is not geared just only because this is election season, or because we have a lot of situations going on. We have, as it were, two wars going on. We have the American um, election cycle going on. This contributes to those kind of things. However, just in day-to-day life, this was a program that I wanted to write for quite some time now. And so we want to look into how we can be the answer to sort of move away from this mindset, to move away from this type of energy. And so we have several modalities that we want to look at this morning, or this afternoon rather. And so we really have to get proficient at examining ourselves, right? Not just each other. So we have to sort of turn that inward, don't we? And so we want to discuss some modalities. So some of those include spiritual awakening. What is it? And how many of us are truly spiritually awake? Now, this isn't to be confused with that woke mentality that has been going on for some time. I'm talking in a spiritual sense. And what about healing? Have we healed all of our wounds and all those things that are deep-seated from maybe from your childhood, or it could be from adulthood as well? And so we're going to talk a little bit about the healing modality, as well as really what I want to talk about today is that purpose and that beautiful destiny, right? And so we all have one, but most of us don't know what our purpose is, don't know what our overall destiny is here. And so we're going to answer that question. Why exactly are we here at this given time and this given environment that we find ourselves in? And so we want to talk a little bit about authenticity. If you're not familiar with that term, we're going to sort of break it down and make it easy to understand, right? And then we want to talk a little bit about gratitude. Why is gratitude so important? And I know that many of us are starting to hear it's some use it as a catchphrase, but it's much more than just a catchphrase. We want to sort of delve into what is gratitude, how do we get it, and once we have that attitude of gratitude, how is it going to work for us, right? And so we want to look at healing just a moment. So as we become spiritually awake, and as when I'm saying awake, I'm not just talking about, someone might go to church, you might be involved in a religious organization of some sort, or you may, I consider myself spiritual in nature. I am not a religious person. In other words, I do not have an affiliation with a denomination. So I started off that way. I belonged to several denominations during my lifetime, religious churches, you might say. But I soon, that's another story for another video. But so there's nothing wrong with it if that's what you if that's what you adhere to or that's what you are motivated by all means. And this program today is not geared for any particular, um, way of life, whether you're an atheist, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a spiritualist, it doesn't matter what you resonate with. I welcome each and every one of you, and this is not to, single anyone out. But as we become awake spiritually, as we understand that there's much more to life than just us, right? And there's, many more areas that we can resonate with. And so as we wake up, one of the very first things that you're gonna realize is that maybe you have some things deep down that just are not right, doesn't sit well with you. Maybe you had a difficult childhood, as I did, and young adulthood. And as most of you can see, I am of a mature age. And actually, I've been through a spiritual awakening several times throughout my lifetime. And so we have to evaluate ourself, our soul, our life, our minds, our hearts, right? And so we're going to talk about that evaluation process, how to understand actually your innermost thoughts, your feelings, and emotions, right? And we are going to look at that egoic thinking and how to be present. In other words, we're not living in the past and we're not trying to live in the future either that hasn't really been developed yet, right? And so we want to look at our inner child because a lot of times we have moved on in chronological age, but we haven't gone back inside of ourselves and healed that little innocent child that had a hard time growing up. And so maybe you don't have anything to heal from your inner child, but I think most of us, when we wake up spiritually, we find that maybe things just didn't go quite right or the way we thought that they should go. And so there's a lot of inner wounds that need to be healed. And maybe it's not just from our childhood. Maybe it's from our young adulthood. Maybe we've had, relationships that didn't work out. Maybe there were divorces, um, different modalities like that that we have to go and heal. And so we want to talk just briefly. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it because we are going to do an interactive workshop on the whole healing process. But I wanted to mention it as we delve into finding out what that beautiful purpose and that destiny is and our journey. So we shouldn't just, hone in on the destiny, right? This whole beautiful journey that we know as the spiritual journey is one to actually periodically stop and evaluate where you've come from, how far you've come, and all the assets that you have gained along the way. And I'm not speaking of physical assets, of course, and those are spiritual assets, and especially the clarity that hopefully you have begun to accumulate. And so one of my very favorite topics is finding that true purpose and that true destiny. And so when we embark on this purpose-driven life, why do we want to even know, what our purpose is in life? We're here on this planet, we're here on this earth in this earthly body, right? For a reason. So what is that reason, right? And discovering your purpose and destiny will actually bring so much joy and peace and newness to your life. And remember, we're here as um, we're spiritual beings, we're divine beings having a human experience, right? And so we want to understand what that looks like. So we have our soul and we have a physical body that has come together, right? And so we want to learn how to tap into those beautiful spiritual gifts and passions. What what passion do you have inside of you? And so we're going to learn about cultivating grit, another favorite topic of mine. And we're going to talk about setting those beautiful spiritual practices. And I'm just going to mention a few just to sort of get the ball rolling inside your mind. So, what about meditation? Do you like to meditate? I know I do. I get a lot of joy out of, just being quiet, um, coming into contact with my soul only, right? And speaking to my soul, letting my soul um, you know, speak those beautiful truths they have to share with my human self, right? So prayer is a big one, is so powerful, connecting with the divine. Now, throughout this program today, I'm going to mention a few terms, but whatever you resonate with is just perfectly fine. So whether you resonate with God, Yahweh, could be source, spirit, universe, whatever your word is to describe that powerhouse, that power source in your life today. So if I mention one or the other, it's not because I'm trying to bypass what you believe in, because I'm not here today to change your belief system whatsoever. I'm here just to sort of cultivate that thought process and that beautiful, um, beautiful destiny and purpose, um, and the journey to get there. Okay, and so we need to tap into that inner compass or wisdom, as some call it. And then a huge, huge thing that is going to be such a gift to you is going to be your own self-awareness. We want to know how to tap into that. So you heard me already mention about grit. And so grit is another name for resilience. I know most of us have heard that throughout the years, right? So how do we develop this grit? Because this is something that we each need to develop. And so we're going to develop a mindset that we're going to expect challenges. Now, who out there listening can say that they go through life and they just don't expect any kind of obstacle or challenge or distraction? I don't know of anyone that doesn't that doesn't experience that, right? So we want to fuel our passion through obstacles and through challenges and distractions, right? Hopefully not distractions, because we're going to talk about how to remove those. And so we want to cultivate a growth mindset. It's part of the grit package, you might say. So we want to set some goals, and we're going to show you how to do that if you're not used to doing that. And we want to set really huge, lofty goals, don't we? Because this is what's going to sustain us through the obstacles that we've been talking about. So we are going to develop a mental toolbox, as it were, lots and lots of positive self-talk as well. And actually, grit is a set of muscles, if you want to look at it that way, that get stronger through practice as we practice and cultivate the grit that we're talking about. And so I want you not only to go through this life and survive. I would like to see each one of you in this beautiful, beautiful collective to thrive spiritually as well as physically. Um, and so, how are we going to thrive instead of just go through day by day and just hope we survive another day, right? So I know I've talked to a lot of people, and this has been their response. If I just make it through to the end of the day, then I feel lucky. Well, no, that's not how we want to approach this life, is it? We want to thrive. We want to not only survive, but we want to, have a good time as we're living this life. I mean, after all, that's why we chose long ago um, to inhabit this body and have not only a spiritual experience, but have this physical experience as well. And so I don't know about you, but I enjoy my life. I'm not just going through this life saying, well, I hope it ends soon, or, or, I hope I can just make it through to the end of another day. No, no. We want to thrive and we want to do so well that we can go out there and just through our enthusiasm and through our energy that we put out there, that it will lead other folks to want that as well. And so we want to live life abundantly and deeply satisfying, right? And so in order to do that, we want to set the appropriate boundaries and put your well being first. In other words, fill your cup first instead of someone else's, right? Um, and so we're going to talk a little more about that on into the program, but I never forget when I fly quite a bit, you go through that demonstration of how to put an oxygen mask on, and they go through all the safety requirements. But one of the instructions are you're going to put your own, if something happens to the airplane, you're to put your oxygen mask on first so that you can help other people, not go directly to helping someone first. You have to make sure you're okay first, right? So that we can help someone else. And so love yourself deeply. Fall in love with yourself again. If you haven't already, um, we're going to do a specific model to fall in love with ourselves, to put ourselves first, to do all the care, that self care with ourselves, and to show the love. Um, Believe that you matter. Um, it's not just about everyone else, okay? And by the way, that's not a selfish attitude. Love yourself, because in loving yourself, guess what that's going to do? That's going to mirror to the world or to those around you that you have nothing but love inside of yourself, and therefore they can experience that same love that they're seeing in the mirror from you. And when we do our workshop on healing, we're going to go into a lot of that, how to portray in that mirror what you want to portray, right? And so we're going to develop all the self-confidence, that self-reliance, and that resilience. And so this is extremely important um, as we develop ourselves and we develop to the world. And this is how we are going to change the world. Can we be the answer? Of course we can, but we have to understand some of these principles um, first. And I'm going to include here, above all, I want you to be able to not only ask, but always ask the divine for that grace. Um, and as we pray each and every day, and whatever your spiritual practice is, ask for that grace. This is um, to develop the deep, deep faith and trust in whatever word you're going to use for that power source, whether it's source, spirit, universe, God, Yahweh, whatever it is. Um, and so by grace is how we're going to overcome and be able to, um, to be able to develop ourselves and each other and show that love um, that we're always meant, to show. Now, there is an asset that we all need to have as we're trying to figure out post healing. It's not that we'll ever be done completely with healing, but as we do, we awake spiritually and we do that initial healing, all the healing modalities, there's something that is really, really going to help you. And it's if we can develop mindfulness, and just a couple little attributes I wanted to mention about it. Live in the present moment. And so many people I've talked to are living in the past. They're reliving some horrific wound, or they're reliving what happened and maybe they got a divorce, or maybe, they didn't have the kind of childhood that they needed to have. So we have to get into the present, okay? And the way we do that is to make sure that those past wounds are dealt with, right? And so we want to set our intentions. What do we expect out of life for today, right? Um, so, so I always give an example. If I'm going to go jogging along a track, right? Why am I going to jog? Is it for health? Is it for losing weight? Is it for, it's all those things, relieving the stress, the anxiety, right? It can be all in your intentions. So set your intentions. I like to set my intentions either first thing in the morning or as I'm going to sleep the night before. And I already sort of have mapped out in my planner what is going to happen for today. And so set those intentions. So be fully engaged with each present moment. And above all, don't judge yourself. Get out of that habit. And I know most people are in the habit of judging themselves. I know, I had to really, um, you know, uh, source and universe had to show me how to do that for myself because I was constantly, um, judging myself about everything, not anybody else but myself. And we really have to move on from that habit. And so, in order to practice mindfulness, I just sort of put a couple of, maybe some best practices. And that is sometimes we have to slow down and notice what our reality is. Okay, we have to kind of slow down. I'm used to, it's like a horse in the gate of a racetrack, right? And so we have to mindfully set your intentions, okay? Um, and so if you need help in knowing exactly how to do that, I have a little handout that I'll be happy to send you if you need it. But pay attention and be open. I'm having trouble with my camera here. Accept yourself the way you would a close friend. Now, for those of you that are out there that have that problem of constantly talking down to yourself, judging yourself, think about a best friend. How do they treat you? How do they talk to you? And I bet it's not in judgment, right? And so we need to sort of develop that beautiful, loving relationship with ourselves. And of course, when we do the interactive healing seminar that's online, we're going to go into a lot of that. How to talk to ourselves, how to do nice things for ourselves, how to fall in love with ourselves again. And you'll find that your life will suddenly take a turn for the better. You'll have a good time. And then we want to develop some positive affirmations. And that's just simply positive statements that you say to yourself. And what does that do? That's going to sort of help you load positivity into your subconscious. And we'll talk more about that in another video, as we determine how to stop all that negativity that may be within yourselves. And so we want to talk a little bit about self-awareness. Now here, I didn't want to, bog down our slide system so much with all of the self-awareness, because actually the very next video that we're going to drop is going to be a whole video on just self-awareness. So I included five here, five modalities of self-awareness, but there's many, many more. But I just wanted to sort of get your feet wet a little bit in thinking along the lines of self-awareness. Now, in just a few minutes, we're going to talk about what you see on the first part is authenticity and why authenticity is so important. But authenticity actually begins with self-awareness. And so we're going to evaluate not only our values and beliefs, but our core values and beliefs and desires, motivations and emotions, how to recognize, how to improve those, and be true to yourself. You're going to hear this again as we talk about some authenticity. And then some of the techniques that we can use to get there in self-awareness is, again, we've already mentioned meditation, journaling. Now, those of you that have followed me over on TikTok, you'll know that I am a big journaling. I love journaling. I probably keep, I don't know, 6 to 7 different journals that have really helped me in a psychological way as I was first beginning my awakening. And so these can help you as well. And they don't all have to be books of paper. You can actually do that online. And I'll share some of the tools and the hacks that I've used over the years. And then grounding yourself is another one. And then you want, as you determine what your motivations, your emotions are at the present moment, and then what you would like to see them be. And so how to get from A to B will be another one as we look into the healing um, process when we do that online workshop there. So authenticity, what is authenticity? So we have to determine how we feel about ourself, our personality, our core beliefs, our values, right? And acting upon those. So many people, and I'm sure that you can think of some in your set of friends or family that they believe one thing, but they want to put out there, they wear a mask and they pretend like they feel a different way. Simply for some reasons, some of the reasons are they don't want to have to heal that particular area of their life, or they just, for one reason or another, they think it's just easier to do that. But you really tear that loving yourself down, because when you're inauthentic, you can't really ever heal yourself until you sort of identify. We want to identify how we really feel, right? And I'm not here to ask you to feel a certain way, right? Or to identify a certain way. It's just that we have to be true to ourselves. So speak and live your truth. As we've already mentioned the mask, take off the masks. As you become authentic and you develop those principles, the mask will automatically fall off, right? And so that's a good thing. Let people see the real you, okay? And I promise you they're going to love you, Okay, if you're authentic and you just let that mask fall off once and for all, they're going to love you, and you're going to have a lot of new friends. And so permit yourself to be yourself. And this is a big one too. Don't worry what other people think of you. Do not worry what other people think, or don't compare yourself to somebody else. Now, early in my life, I used to do that. I used to fill everyone else's cup before I filled mine, and then in the end, I was the empty one, you know, and all of my friends were the full one. And so we don't want to do that either, because number one, we're inauthentic because we're not being ourselves. And if you're constantly comparing yourself to someone else, guess what? You're going to always come up on the short end, always. And I don't worry anymore what people think about me. You know, they can love me and like me. That's great. Or they can not like me, and it's not going to deter me from living my life as I want to live it. And so be full of integrity. Um, and that's always, telling the truth. Be yourself. Be honest. Okay. Be forthright. That means not taking something else that belongs to someone else, right? Full of integrity. That's what we want. That's what we want to be. And what that's going to do for you to be authentic is that's going to actually align that external behavior with those internal set of core values and core beliefs that you have. And so you want to, be honest in all things, and you'll find out that your life will actually turn around. And again, those masks are going to fall off. Okay. And so the next thing we have to do is really know who you are, as we strive to know what our purpose, what our destiny is. I want to tell you something, and if I can appeal to each one of you, the world is languishing for your um, energy, your light, and your authentic self. Um, you know, we're all waiting on on that beautiful energy that you have, that you possess, and as you've heard me say many times, for those that have followed me, this collective is waiting on your energy, that high vibrational energy, that high frequency, because as we, each one of us, do this internal work on ourselves, we help the whole collective rise. We help that whole collective's energy, um, you know, to shine. Each one of us can thrive. And so, know who you are, know what that destiny is, know what your journey should look like, right? And so, we each one should be on that self discovery journey. Um, and if you're not, I can tell you, your life will totally turn around once you start on that journey. And it's never too late. Don't think that it's too late. Okay. So we want to reflect on ourselves, right? So we're going to spend time with ourselves, and if you're not used to it, this is going to sound kind of weird if you've never done it before. But what you need to do is go inside your soul, inside this heart, this beautiful heart space, and meditate. Just ask yourself the questions, and that person will answer. That soul will answer you. Be patient and gentle with yourself. Now, a lot of times, if you just want to sit with a blank piece of paper and just ask yourself, what would you like me to know today? And when thoughts come to your mind, just jot them down. Jot them down one by one. You can do that on an electronic notepad, or you can do it on paper too, if you want to. And so um, identify where you find a sense of purpose. It's going to be obvious when you do that. And I would say do this every day, because if you only do it once, taking down the notes, if you only do that once every, month or two, then you sort of, start all over again. And ask yourself, where are my passions? What am I passionate about? And a lot of times I like to explain passion, like, if I didn't get paid to do what I really enjoy, what would be that something that I would enjoy doing? You know, it may be the usual examples that we like to give. It might be you're going to start a spiritual based business. You might, like to relax and bake bread. You might want to help someone learn how to identify with nature. You may want to, it can be a million different things. Whatever interests you, probably that's getting pretty close to that, to that passion and that, those core values and that journey that you want to start. And I would journalize these things. So I would journalize, like, what questions did you ask in self-reflection? What were those answers? And keep journalizing that. And then after you've done it for, let's say 30 days, look back. And because what's going to happen is you're going to find out that maybe on day one, you're going to find out like where your passions are. Maybe day 2 through 7, it's going to tell you how to get to those passions and how to develop, that new system of doing things. And so you'll find this going to be so neat. The journey is so cool. I can't believe in myself that I never did that for the younger part of my life. And so I really just want to encourage you to try that. Try it and see if you like that self-reflection technique there. You can also, instead of just asking yourself out loud, what do I want to know today? You can also just journalize it too. You can ask the questions on paper and then wait for those thoughts to, start in your head, and in your heart. So we want to be able to accept ourselves like we are. Don't try to change yourself at first. When you first start the healing process, come as you are. Everyone is accepted. Okay. And so have self-compassion for yourself. So accept yourself as you are, number one there, including all your imperfections. Okay. Be compassionate with yourself. And a very big one is treat yourself with kindness and understanding. And don't ignore areas that need improvement, but come as you are. And it doesn't mean you're going to stay that way. Okay. So if you have let's say, some negative habits or some negative habits, it doesn't mean that you have to keep them. We're going to learn how to change those. In the very next video, with self-awareness, we're going to learn how to actually evaluate every habit and then how to change them. Okay, and so we want to acknowledge our human flaws. Okay, and this is very important as we work toward that journey that we all want to be on. And so again, I mentioned this at the very beginning. about having that attitude of gratitude. Now, gratitude isn't just about being thankful, although that's a big, big part of it. But actually, when we have the attitude of gratitude, be thankful for the abundance in your life instead of lack. Okay. So instead of saying, oh, I can't afford to, go to the movies this week like I wanted to, but you could be thankful that you have YouTube, or you have, what is it, Hulu or Netflix, that you can maybe still see the same thing, right? That's just an example. But gratitude promotes positive emotions. So as we identify what our emotions are, we're going to actually, in the next video, we're going to learn how to reframe those emotions, our thoughts, our feelings, right? And, the gratitude will actually raise your vibration and your frequency. And so as we tell God, source, spirit, universe, all the things that make us happy and all the things that we're thankful for, this is actually going to raise that energy level. It's going to actually raise, those feelings that are within you, and then you're going to mirror that out to the world, right? So gratitude is an important spiritual gift, and we should not ever not be thankful for all the spiritual gifts and all the talents that we have. And all of you know that follow me before, I'm going to ask you to make a gratitude journal. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to take you a long time, but it helps to write all these things down. And then you can go back at a preset time and you can look back at all the things you've been grateful for. And actually doing these list of things actually will open this heart space up, because really you want to come outside of this mind where the ego is working to disrupt that gratitude, right? Because your ego is actually a system of protection. It actually is there. So when you're experiencing something negative, it's going to tell you, oh, you don't want to do that. Keep it on the same course. We used to do this 10 years ago, so you should do it now. And it sort of disrupts this love that you have going on for yourself. And so we need to set our ego, not destroy it, but we want to set our ego down. We want to set it aside, and we want to operate from this heart space. And we really are going to get into that intricately in our healing workshop that we're going to do right here on this channel. And I'm so excited about it because we get a lot of questions. How do we do this? How do we accomplish that? What sort of modality is this? So forth and so on. So I'm really looking forward to having you in there. So after gratitude, and we're thinking now about, so by now you should start, it should start coming to you pretty much where you're headed toward your passion, maybe what your purpose is, leading on into the destiny. And so most of us, I haven't ever known one person that doesn't have a comfort zone that they need to leave, right? So most of us, we put ourselves in a nice little gift wrapped box, usually, and I did this just the same as everyone else. I had a certain set of circumstances that I lived by, and when I started with my journey, there was a lot of uncomfortable scenarios that I had to live out. And so leaving our comfort zone can be a challenge, right? Really depends on what it is. But once you stick one foot outside the box, you don't even have to be totally out. It's going to build that beautiful confidence that you're looking for. It's going to increase your creativity. You know, I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm just not a creative person. We all have creativity locked inside of our hearts, right? And so we have to release it, let it come out. Um, and so when we think about the chakra system, we want to make sure all of our chakras are healed and they're all opened and running, spinning, right? And so this is part of that healing process that we've been talking about. So it's going to help you immensely with your personal growth. A deeper understanding of yourself when you go into yourself and you reflect. Um, it's going to bring all that out. And as I've said before, the world really needs you guys. Um, you know, I promise you, if you take things step by step, you're going to thrive. I'm telling you, the world is waiting on what you do and the way you do it. And so even if you have to do it scared, then do it scared. You know, I won't take the time now, but in my next video, I'm going to tell you about an experience I had where I had to go speaking in front of groups of people. And I started off, it was just a few people, you know, maybe like 30 to 50. And this one time I thought it was going to be the normal, you know, group. And I spoke, it was near, I think it was 1,700 that were actually there. And I was thinking, oh, how much could it be? 50 maybe people. And so when I got before those people, um, you know how it is, you don't even know where you're at. It's like a deer in the headlights. And so I had to come out of my comfort zone pretty quickly. And I'm glad I did. And it did. It built the confidence. It built the, you know, it built learning a new skill, learning um, how to meet the people where they are. And so I just made just a quick little chart here. So leaving your comfort zone at first, you're going to feel all snugly and safe, um, you know, in a cozy place. And then as you start to step outside that comfort zone, you're going to lack self-confidence at first. And this is what I meant by, you know, if you have to do it scared, do it scared. It's okay. And we can regroup after the fact, right? And you're going to learn so many new skills. There's going to be new goals for you. And you're going to start to see that purpose. You're going to start to live the dream. Um, you know, and I'm not even, a lot of you may think that I'm, uh, you know, just trying to pump this up and make it sound good. No, actually, when I first started my purpose and my journey going toward my destiny, every day was like a beautiful dream. It was like I couldn't wait to get started each and every day, and it's still like that. Okay, and so back in my university days, and I'll tell you a little truth about me. I just finished my university experience just maybe a year and a half ago. Um, but anyway, in that system, in the university system, we learned how to make these SMART goals. And so we all know that as we set goals, you don't want to set this huge. Okay, so think back when I said whatever your goals are, make it so large because that's going to help you develop grit. Well, then you're going to take that huge goal and you're going to break it down into little SMART goals. Now, SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And so I used to, back when I worked in a big industrial bakery, I was in charge of a team to discover how to save on waste. Okay. And so as we were in this team, I had what, six people besides myself. And so we set up these goals so that we could actually be specific, be able to measure what you're doing, um, at least have the smaller goal, something that you can achieve, right? Let it be relevant, and then have a way to track your time that you're working on it, okay? And so if you need help with setting the SMART goals, I actually have a pretty cool handout for that too. If you're new to setting goals, maybe it can help you. If not, I'm sure that maybe you have your own system, and that's perfectly fantastic. Whatever works for you. And so I mentioned we were going to do a healing interactive workshop. We're actually also going to do one on managing your energy. And so this is extremely, extremely important because all of us have that energy. Now, whether it's low vibration or it's high vibration or somewhere in the middle, or our frequency, maybe you're having trouble, managing the frequency or some part of that energetic field. We're actually going to do a whole we're going to try to get it into just one workshop, but there's a lot to this. And so I didn't want to bog down with this video because this is another whole video. And so if you subscribe to our channel, you'll get the notifications when that is all ready. But everything contains energy, whether it be humans, mammals, even a rock has energy, okay? And so we want to understand how to manage your energy and the principles, how to manage them. And then we want to talk a lot about co-creating with the universe, or manifestations as we call it. And because there is a lot of work that's been done on YouTube, and a lot of different people say a lot of different things. And so I'm not here to dispel anything that anyone is saying. I just want to give you a sure, quick way as you manifest. And even now, whether you believe it or not, we're all manifesting things, even as you're listening to this video. You're manifesting things, whether you're pushing those away or you're drawing it to yourself. We're all constantly manifesting and co-creating with the universe. So we want to make sure to manifest those things that we want, right? That we desire, or how we're trying to change our life. Okay, so again, we're going to talk about ascending, the timelines and the different energy levels, the different energy shifts. And as I mentioned, each time we change our life into that positive, that beautiful, purpose and destiny, that journey that we all want to be on, it raises the whole collective, is what it does. It's not only an asset for you and something good for you, but it's also good for the rest of the collective. And I'm in such awe of you guys. I can see so many of you out there. And don't give up hope. The thing that I want to leave you with here in just a minute, there's hope. There's beautiful, beautiful hope for you. If you're having difficulties, hang on. Just hang on. And we are going to help you through those difficulties. And so as we are talking about finding our purpose, our destiny, stepping outside your comfort zone, never fear failure. I think the misconception out there in the world is that, what if I fail? Well, if you fail, it's just a temporary setback. That's all it is. That's all failure is. And so allow yourself to feel the disappointment, but don't wallow in it. Don't just go over and over and over and over it. Again, when you start talking down to yourself, you start undoing all that beautiful love that you've put into yourself. Okay, acknowledge those emotions with love. Don't let them consume you. Okay, don't let it consume you. Reflect, go inside, reflect, and learn the life lesson from that beautiful experience. And remember, as I mentioned before, we should be living and operating from within inside of our heart space and that beautiful, beautiful soul, um, that our Creator has given to us. And because when we stay up in our head, we let the ego system take over. And then I can be the first one to tell you, when you stay up in your head space, um, you're going to experience all kinds of negativity. It's not that we shouldn't ever use our minds to think, of course we should, but you don't want to try to govern your emotions, your feelings, how you're going to treat others, how you're treating yourself, you're loving yourself. Because remember, we're a giant mirror to the outside, right? From what we're feeling inside of here. So adjust your mindset after you've had a setback. Replace the negative self talk with positive affirmations. And, go back to that mindfulness if you need to. And usually I have to do that, the breath work. And then when we talk about healing in that workshop we're going to do, we're going to go through probably 10 different types of breathing that can help you reset yourself and get back into the heart space, get out of your head, let your ego rest. There's no need to overwork your egoic system. And so turn setbacks into comebacks. And once you get used to the process, it becomes second nature then. You don't have to say, okay, let me pull that list up. What is it I have to do? But it's going to become second nature to you. And even if you have to pull up the list, then that's fine. I'm a big believer in taking notes, and it's going to do nothing but help you. So, in essence, can I be the answer that we've been trying to talk about today? Everyone is the answer if you allow yourself to be the answer, right? Give yourself permission to heal and to love. A lot of times we skip over that step and we don't understand why. I've had so many people say, look, I'm going through all the steps and it's just, it's not working today. Well, we have to give ourselves permission to forgive, to heal. Give yourself permission to love. You have everything within your heart that you need, including the validation. When we go inside this space, our heart space, we don't need to be on the outside for anything. Now, I hear many people say, well, what about a lover? What about a significant other? Well, I'm going to give you a little preview because we're going to talk a lot about this during the healing modalities that we're going to do. But when you love yourself, when you show yourself love, all that self-care, all that, it's going to mirror to the world that you're madly in love with yourself and you know how to treat yourself, right? Well, that's going to get mirrored to the people around you, and it's going to attract, believe me, it's going to attract many people into your life that, number one, have the same energy that you have the same vibrations that you have maybe even, not necessarily so, but even maybe the same journey that you have. And so this is what I mean by a huge mirror. But if you're pushing love away from yourself, that's what you're going to be showing to the world as well, that you don't know how to love yourself. And so then it's going to make people say, well, I don't think so. I'm not sure about that. And so we want to be drawing all of that to us, not pushing it away. So that's why the seminar that's coming up on managing your energy level is so important to sort of understand those and how to develop those principles. And I mentioned the managing your energy, they're coming soon. And so with that in mind, we come to the end, and I just want to thank all of you that have stopped by. Again, I invite you to subscribe to our channel if you so desire. And I've included our organizational email there if you'd like to reach out. And so until the next time, I just wanted to leave you that no matter what you're experiencing in your life right now, it doesn't have to stay like that unless you're already pretty perfect and you have everything you need and you've got it all figured out. Then I congratulate you. But if you don't worry. There's hope there. So there's no need for all of us out here to have fear of one another, to mistrust everyone, to there is a better way. There's a better way coming, and all the fear that be, you know, for myself, I had to stop listening to news, stop buying into the matrix. And so when I sort of took myself out of that and I focus on positivity, then you start to find that both your internal and your external life will definitely change for the better. And so here I'm not, trying to tell you how to live your life or what you should and shouldn't do, but I'm just saying that, fear is an illusion. And, the quicker we can respond to a lot of the, the fear, the worry, the doubt, the anxiety, the depression, and that's just to name a few. But I want you all to be able to thrive and to have the best life possible moving forward. And, when I say that I love each and every one of you, I honestly do. As I look across the collective, I can only be encouraged because I see a lot of changes. And as we start talking about some of the changes on down in subsequent videos and presentations, I can only be encouraged. You encourage me by what I see out there. And I just wanted to, again, if you want to subscribe to the channel, I wish you would. And don't forget to follow us on TikTok as well. And we're going to take a break from Instagram till we can figure some of our logistics out on that platform. But if you'd like to comment, if you want to drop us an email, you definitely can. And with that in mind, I'll say good day to you. And I love each and every one of you. Until the next video, I love each and every one of you. Bye.